So we have few items left as a part of payables. Before we focus on these items, we'll pick the topic called as invoice creation based on the PO on receipt. Okay, how to create invoice in the payables based on the PO on receipt information, as well as how to create invoice automatically in the payables based on the receipt which we create within the inventory. To implement this, we need to complete the basic configuration from inventory and to purchasing application. From inventory and to purchasing, the basic setups we have to complete. We'll see what setups need to be completed so that system will support to record invoice against PO and receipt. So these setups we call as P2P setups. Already we are ready with the payables application. The remaining setups from inventory and to purchasing we have to complete. So these are the setups. If you want to implement P2P, these are the setups. So reality, we no need to do these setups. These setups should be done by SCM consultant, supply chain management consultant. But here we don't have any scope. Somebody will complete these setups for us. If no setups, we cannot test the functionality called as invoice creation and do invoice creation based on the PO and receipt. That is the reason we are going to do these setups. Okay. So let's see what is the sequence of steps we have to perform. So very limited setups. These are the setups, and we'll see the process. Since we are going to implement inventory and purchasing application, we have to add relevant offerings. We have to add relevant offerings to our project. So go to our implementation project, add offering called as procurement and other relevant offerings. So that when we do the setups, we'll be able to access the relevant tasks from our project itself. So Alt INC is our implementation project. Just wait for a moment. So already we have financials offering within the project. Now add offering called as procurement. Within the procurement, one of the application is purchasing. So we are going to perform few setups from purchasing application. So procurement should be part of our project. So along with that, add offering called as material management and logistics. So it will support us to create the sub inventory from inventory. And to complete few product means inventory related setups, we need offering called as product management.
Lakshman, can you increase your voice, please? Sound, please.
Oh, volume less. 1 second. This is okay. This is what regular volume we are using. The same with everybody, or you are okay?
No, it's good. It's audible.
Audible. Okay. Okay. Fine. Maybe from your side also, please check. Who asked me? Nothing wrong if you check from your side also. Yes. Fine. Product management. So add product management offering. It will support to perform few inventory related setups. So these are the additional offerings we have to include into our project, which will support to complete inventory related setups. And along with the product management means inventory related, inventory and item related. Material management, along with this, within the product management, we don't have any task related to sub inventory creation. So when we complete P2P related setup, sub inventory creation is mandatory. Without sub inventory, we cannot create the receipt within the inventory. So that just to create the sub inventory, we are adding this offering. and procurement to complete the purchasing related setups. Within the procurement, we have multiple applications. So we are adding procurement for purchasing purpose. That's how it is. Done. Now, so we added required offerings and create facilities. So by default, it is not required in inventory, but as a part of inventory, they made this setup as mandatory. Mostly these facilities, nothing but workday calendar. Within the manufacturing process, to identify what are the working days, non-working days, we have to create the inventory calendar, or you can call as workday calendar or call it as facilities. All are same. Inventory calendar or workday calendar, facilities, all are same, where we set up working days and non-working days. So that can be useful for the manufacturing related process. But in inventory, it is a mandatory setup. We'll just complete so that whenever we do the inventory definition, we can select and we'll be able to complete the inventory definition. So it follows three steps. First, we have to create the shift, the day shift or night shift or shift 1, 2, 3, and workday pattern, how many working days, the schedules we have to create. Let's see this. Okay. So just try to understand how to create. We no need to have a deep dive of understanding because this is not our scope. Just we are completing setups so that the setups would be ready, which will support our P2P process. So search for shifts. So manage facility shifts is the task. Click on go to task icon. Manage facility shifts. Click on create icon. Say Alt INC normal shift. The shift starting time say 9 a.m. Duration 8 hours. Shift detail type just set as a none. Flexible punch, it has a different meaning. We don't need to understand. It's not our area. Say save and close. Okay. Now create pattern. We created facility shift. Now we are going to create workday patterns. Click on go to task icon. Click on plus icon. Alt INC weekly. Length in days 7. Click on add 1 7. The reality, the shift or the pattern may be 5 days working or 6 days working. Here I'm giving 7. Most of the test instances we have bug. Other than just 1 to 7, if you give any date range like only 6 days, 5 days working, it doesn't work in few functionalities. In case of O2C cycle, that is the reason we are giving 1 to 7. So what are the shift we created? Select here. So this is not our area. Otherwise, we can discuss and we can move slowly. But here, target is just completing the setups. We don't need to understand very much detail level, which is setups need to be complete, how to complete. That is the objective of this configuration here. Now create the facility schedule. We created shift. We created pattern. Now create schedule. Here is the task. Facility schedules. Click on plus icon. And under workday patterns, add the pattern whatever we created just now. Alt INC weekly. Say save and close. Done. This you can call as inventory calendar or workday calendar or facilities. So this we have to use when you create the real inventory. So before we create the real inventory or child inventory, we need to create item master inventory. Why item master inventory is required? To create the items, we use item master inventory. Okay, as a part of enterprise structure, we discussed. If client has 10 warehouses, we have to create 10 plus 1. The additional one is item master. Item master is the virtual inventory. It is not a real inventory. You don't see in your business. In your business, you may have a 5 warehouses. The system you create 5 warehouses as a 5 child inventories, physical inventories, real inventories. But in the system, along with those 5 physical inventories, you have 5 warehouses in the business, you create 5 child inventory organizations within the system. Along with these 5, we have to create one more, that is item master. Item master you can call as virtual inventory. Virtual inventory means not a real inventory. It is required only in the system for item creation purpose. Say for example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 inventories. In these 4 inventories, we are going to maintain the mobile. I have to create mobile here. Here also I have to create the mobile. I have to create the mobile. I have to create mobile. I have 4 inventories. I have to create mobile 4 times, and in each inventory I'll maintain how much stock we have. Now the same item we are creating multiple times. If you have 100 warehouses, 100 times you have to create the mobile. So this we call as duplication. To avoid this duplication, Oracle came up with a concept called as master inventory. What we do is we create mobile here. Instead of creating in the real inventories, we'll create mobile here. This mobile is required in which inventories? Just will assign. We are not going to create again and again. One time only we create. We are creating in the master inventory or item master. So we assign. That's how we can avoid the duplication. If you are not creating this mobile in the item master or master inventory organization, so in the 4 inventories, we have to create 4 times, which is the duplication in the system. So now just we create item only one time in the master inventory that you can assign to this 4. The same item would be available in the 4 inventories. Here you can maintain the stock. How much stock is available with that item you can maintain. That is the purpose of master inventory. Master inventory or item master inventory also you can call. Both are same. Item master or master. So with the help of item master, we maintain the items and we don't maintain the stock, only item definitions. So those will be assigned to the real inventories, nothing but child inventories. So just for duplication, to avoid the duplication, we are using the item master. Let's see how to create it. Search for item organization. Okay, task name is manage item organizations. Click on go to task icon. Click on plus icon. Just wait for a moment. So name it as Alt IMC item master. Alt IMC item. The label or field organization is nothing but the organization code we have to provide. Okay, I'm just giving the short name as a Alt IMC item. So this is not a real inventory. So no location. It's a virtual. Okay, for item creation purpose we are creating. So there won't be any location name for this. And there won't be any business unit. This is not going to be under any business unit. As per enterprise structure, we'll have an inventory under business unit. So no business unit we have to select here because this is not a real one. If it is real, we have to select. Now just click on next. Provide the name and the organization code and click on next. Select item master organization. What we are creating, the same is item master. Select same as a item master organization. Now say save and close. So this is how just we have to create item master. Now we'll create the child inventory, which is a real inventory. Within this real inventory only you can maintain the item related stock. Items we create in the item master. So in the child inventory will maintain the stock. These are the real inventories. This is a virtual. To create the child inventory, search for inventory organization task. Search for inventory organization task. So manage inventory organizations. Click on go to task icon and just click on create. So provide item master inventory organization name, child inventory name, say alt inc dollars inventory. Alt inc say dollars. Since it's a real inventory, it should be under specific business unit as per enterprise structure. Now select our BU name. So here is our BU. The same BU location system is defaulting as a this inventory organization location. BU location is different from this inventory location. Here you can change it. But anyway, we are creating the inventory in the dollars location, which is defaulting from the business unit also dollars. That is okay. And based on this business unit, system is defaulting the primary ledger. We assigned primary ledger and legal entity to business unit. The business assigned business unit business functions. So same is defaulting. Here select default legal entity. Now just click on next. And here you select item master organization. So in the dollars inventory, if you need any item, the item can be created and assigned to this dollars from which item master that you have to select. Okay. In the dollars, we need one item called as laptop. So where you want to create that laptop, you want to create an item master organization, which is the item master organization that we have to select here. Alt inc item master. So we create items within this which are required for dollars inventory. That is the meaning of it. Item grouping behavior. Select as a definition. It will have a full permissions. It's a more inventory related, some functional related field this is. But now whenever you create, you select definition organization. It will have full privileges to manage the item related attributes. And we created schedule. We created shifts, pattern, and schedule. The schedule, whatever we created, now we are going to select here. We created as a alt inc schedule. Okay, that's all. The fresh instance, you don't find any schedules. We have to create, and that should be selected when you create the inventory organization. Now say save and close. Rest we no need to fill, those are all related to inventory functionalities. So we are ready with our child inventory organization. Now set up procurement business functions. Set up procurement business functions, copy the same task name, find the task. The task name is configure procurement business function. The task name is configure procurement business function. Click on the task. click on go to task icon, and we want to set procurement business functions. If you are from EBS background, this is equal to purchasing options. In EBS, we set purchasing options. The same in the Fusion, we are calling as procurement business function. You want to set procurement business functions for which BU. Select, say OK. Here, select inventory organization. If you are going to create any purchase order from this business unit, Alt INC US business unit, you want to access the items from which inventory organization. Select that inventory, search Alt INC, minimize, click on search, select dollars inventory. So whatever the items would be available in the dollars, those we want to access from this business unit to create any transactions. Say OK. So when you create the purchase order you may create for goods or item, services or any other purposes. Most of the time, purchase orders you create with what purpose that you can set as a default line type.
Lakshman, you have selected ART INC, ART INC US business unit. Is it okay?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's the wrong one. Alt INC, RC is Alt INC. Thanks for that. Alt, what we are using is Alt. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks for that. Now many things goes wrong with this is the selection earlier. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So select Alt INC dollars inventory. Okay, Alt INC dollars inventory. So most of the time within this Alt INC business unit, whenever you create the purchase order you want to create for goods or services that you can select here as a default. Say most of the time we may purchase goods. I'm selecting the default line type as goods. Whenever you create the purchase order, we have to create the line. You have seen in invoice creation, we create line, invoice lines. In the same way, purchase order also we have to create the lines. What should be the line type? The default we are giving as goods. If required, you can change to services also. So within this business unit, mostly you create the purchase orders in which currency. Set that currency as a default currency. The same will be defaulted. So these are the basic details we have to provide, and click on save and close. So with the help of procurement business function, system will allow us to create the purchase orders. If you want to create the requisitions, you have to complete requisitioning business function. You have to complete requisitioning business function. Click on go to task icon. Select our business unit. Our BU name is Alt INC US business unit. Say OK. Select inventory, whatever we selected within the procurement business function. Same will be available here since we already selected in the procurement business function. The line type also defaulting goods. Okay, now say save and close. Done. So we completed procurement business function under requisition business function. Now we have to set up common options. The common options for both payables and procurement. Already we completed this setup from payable side. As a part of payable setups, common option setup already we completed. Now set up receiving parameters. What is the purpose of receiving parameters? It talks about how you are going to receive the material into inventory. Okay, how you are going to receive the material into inventory. what are the rules need to be followed. That sort of information we can set as a part of receiving parameters. Okay, so go to receiving parameters. Receiving parameters. Manage receiving parameters. Click on go to task icon. So we want to set receiving parameters for which inventory? We receive the material into real inventory only. We don't receive the material into item master inventory. Only we receive the material into child or real or physical. That is dollars inventory. The item master inventory organization only to create items, not to receive any stock and to maintain. So select only dollars. Search for alt IMC. Now see, you don't find item master, only child, which is the real. Select. Say OK. When you receive the material into alt IMC dollars inventory, so what are the rules you follow? Say for example, receipt days exceed action. So we ask supplier to supply within 1 week, but supplier is going to supply late. In that case, how system is going to react? Whether system will reject the receipt creation or it will give the warning or set none. None means even if you are receiving the material with a delay, system will accept. Okay. And over receipt action. If supplier is going to supply more than the quantity whatever we requested, how system should respond? That you can set here. It should accept. That means none you can set. And receipt routing. Receipt routing means how you are receiving the material. Are you receiving directly into your inventory, or you are receiving the material into staging? From there you are moving into targeted sub inventory, or else it could be first step you receive the material into staging, second step you perform the inspection, third step could be what are the quantity accepted that you may move to your inventory. So what is the approach, what is the method you are following, that we have to set as a receipt routing method. This you can call as receipt routing method. How you are receiving the material into this inventory, that we have to set. Direct delivery means one step. Okay, so direct delivery means one step process. So one step means directly we receive the material from supplier to our sub inventory, no intermediate steps. Standard receipt means one step is we receive into staging. Second step is we'll move the material from staging to sub inventory. Two steps. Inspection required means first we receive into our staging area. Second step is we conduct the inspection. With inspection, we just finalize what items, how much quantity we are going to accept, how much quantity we are going to reject. The third step is accepted quantity will move to our inventory. So this is what we call as receipt routing. So which we have to set for each and every inventory. Okay. Again, this you can change at purchase order level. Select direct delivery. With one step, we want to receive the material into inventory. And when you create the receipt, so within this inventory, when you create the receipt, how you want to generate the receipt numbering? Say automatic. You want to generate automatic numbering. So type is, since automatic, it should be numeric only. And what would be the next number? I'm giving one. The reality, the field name they given next number, the functionality point of view, it works as a last user number. Now we given one. System will understand this number is already used. It will start generating the receipts from 2. And RMA numbering. Okay, RMA numbering. RMA stands for, okay, whenever we sell the material to the customer return the material. Okay, so customer return the material, that we call as sales returns. We discussed as a part of O2C cycle. So when the customer will return the material, that material also we have to receive into our inventory only. Okay. So that information, like when customer return, you will be receiving that material into inventory only. For that, how that number need to be generated. For that also we'll record the receipt. So that we call as RMA, Return Material Authorization. Okay, the Return Material Authorization. So whenever customer is going to return that material, if you are receiving into back to the inventory, so how that receipt number system has to generate for RMA, that we have to set. Okay, sorry, how that material you are going to receive, receipt routing method we have to set. Say direct. Since you supply to customer and returning, if you want to inspect, you may select inspection is required. If you are taking back from the customer, maybe you have to perform the inspection. How it is, what process you are following in your organization, that you can set. RMA stands for Written Material Authorization. In case of sales returns, how you are receiving that material into inventory. Your receipt number means whenever you purchase any material, how you are receiving. If customer is going to return, how you are going to receive, how many steps, process you are following, that you can set up. That's all about receiving parameters. And here also we have few controls, but we selected none since inventory is not our area. Just to fill these values we discussed. Otherwise, we have to understand all these tolerances, etc. But that's not our job. Okay, set these parameters so that we will be able to complete the receiving parameters setup. Save and close. Done. Now procurement agent. Yes, already we created procurement agent. Without procurement agent, you cannot create supplier. So that is the reason we created. Now set default buyer. So in the purchasing, we can create purchase order through manual process, or you can create purchase order based on the requisition. Based on the purchase requisition, we create purchase orders. When you create the purchase order based on the purchase requisition, system will look for the buyer. It's automation in the system. So it will look for default buyer. If you don't set some specific buyer as a default, system will fail to create the purchase order. If you are creating purchase order through manual process, you can select the buyer. But if system is going to create, you have to set some input for system by using which buyer it has to create the purchase order for specific business unit. We'll see how to set default buyer for specific business unit. So search the term called as buyer. Here is the task. Manage buyer assignment rules. Click on go to task icon. Click on plus icon and select requisitioning BU. Alt I and C. And here is a procurement BU. The same BU it is taking as a procurement BU. If you are going to create the purchase orders within this business unit automatically, means you will convert requisition as a purchase order. That's how automatic POs can be created. Which buyer system has to use in case of this this BU, that we have to select here. So we are setting default buyer for this business unit. Now say save and close. Done. So within the purchasing application, when you create purchase requisition or purchase order, when you create these documents, these we call as documents. When you create purchase requisition, we need an account called as charge account. Charge account means the purchase requisition what we are creating for what you will be creating for any item, but the amount what you are creating entering that has to hit to specific account. That account we call a charge account. Okay, so you are spending by creating requisition, you are going to purchase that you want to charge. That expense account we have to use in the purchase requisition. Same account we required in the PO also. In fact, in the PO, along with the charge account, you need accrued account. You need variance account. This variance is nothing but IPV account we call reality. IPV stands for invoice price variance. Okay. So charge account. So whenever you create purchase requisition or purchase order, system required the charge account. So whatever the amounts will enter in the document that need to be charged. And accrued account is required for PO. With this PO, if you create any purchase invoice in the payables, from PO, system will pass this account to invoice creation. Whatever the account is available in the PO level as accrued account, that account will be debited when you create invoice in AP. We'll see that. That is accrual account we require. And variance account is nothing but IPV, invoice price variance. The price variance between the PO price and invoice price that we call as IPV, invoice price variance. PO level you may have one price, invoice creation time you may have a different price. In those scenarios, the variance system will take into this variance account, IPV account. So for these reasons, these accounts are mandatory. If you don't set these accounts ready in the system, you cannot process purchase requisitions as well as purchase orders. To set up these three accounts as a mandatory, we have a concept called as PO tab. PO means our purchasing application. Tab means transaction accounting builder or transaction accounting definition. Here you can represent with D also, but Oracle call it as B only. Transaction accounting builder. By using one of the setup called as PO tab, transaction accounting builder, we can set up these three accounts. When you set these three accounts, system will allow us to create these two documents. Other without setting these accounts within the PO, these documents we cannot process within the purchasing application. Yeah. Along with these three accounts, we have two more accounts. You see here, destination charge, destination variance. If you are recording the transactions between the inventory organizations, in those scenarios, we need these accounts, means intercompany transactions. Okay, if you are recording the transaction between the inventory organizations, so there these accounts are required. By default, these two are not mandatory. These three are mandatory. Okay, we'll go and set up transaction accounting builder, transaction accounting definition. In the system point of view, you can see transaction account definition, but Oracle call it as a transaction accounting builder. Okay, it will build the accounts. That is the reason even Oracle name is definition, we call as a builder. So what steps are involved to set up these accounts? First, we have to create the account rules. For these three accounts, three rules we have to create. Those we have to select into PO tab. The same PO tab we have to assign to our ledger to purchasing application. We'll see that. Okay, let's create three rules for three accounts. search for account rules. When you search for account rules, select account rule, which is pointing procurement path. So manage account rules, it is pointing to procurement path. Click on the same. Don't choose which is pointing to financials. Click on, go to task icon. See, hope you remember we already created mapping set account rules to understand SLA setup. This is also related to SLA setup, but it is related to procurement. Okay, it's related to procurement. That is only the point. Okay, now we'll go and create account rule. Manage account rules. For these 3 accounts, we have to create the 3 roles. Click on, go to task icon and click on create. So provide the name Alt INC charge account. Select our chart of accounts here. Click on add rule. And select value type as a constant. Reality, if SCM consultant is going to do this setup, so based on the client requirement they set up, they create the mapping set and they may set the account need to be derived based on the purchasing category or else based on the inventory organizations. That's how they can create the mapping set. The mapping set they will select here. But here for our testing purpose, directly we are providing the constant value. So provide constant value and select charge account. So select any one of the expense account. System will have a validation. If you select any random account into this charge account, whenever you create the purchase order or requisition, it won't allow us to process. It will throw error message. The charge account nature should be expense only. That's how it will stop performing the document process. So select only expense account, any one of the expense account. Account type should be expense. Say small tools expenses. Say okay. So just wait for a moment. It takes some time to create this new code combination.
Lakshman, this charge account, will it be expense all the times or it may be different
Expense
also in
only.
some cases?
Charge means expense only.
Okay, thank you.
Sometimes it could be your I mean, it depends. Depending on the category, also system will derive. Okay, if it is
Okay.
related to your asset, right? You may have a asset
Mm,
category also, asset clearing.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all.
thank you.
Yeah, fine. Now say save and create another. Click on save and create another. I will create account rule for accrual account. When you say accrual, the nature is liability. So when you create invoice and the payables, we have seen the accounting entry as expense or charge account is debit and liability credit. So before that, this is treated as a accrual. as per purchasing, whenever you create the purchase order, your accruals will be booked. Whenever you create invoice against that PO, the accruals will be reversed and the liability will be realized. We'll come to know when you create accounting entry. Just take this point. Alt IMC accrual account. So liability means confirm, accrual means kind of obligation, not at the liability only, but which is not confirmed here. Accrual expense.
Yeah, it means any PO which is created just in case if we are canceling, so it will again come back to us. So for that reason, we can understand in that way.
Oh yeah, I mean against that PO, say you created PO,
Mhm.
but you cannot realize your liability, right? Whenever you get invoice from the supplier, you can
Yes.
release your liability.
Yeah, yeah.
Till the time, it is 50-50% liability. It may
Yeah.
get into
Then the
liability
amount which
as
is, yeah,
yeah.
we can understand like the amount which we are holding to pay to our supplier.
Yes,
If
yes,
we receive the invoice, we'll pay, else it will be with us.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a kind of
Thank you.
future. It's a future
Yeah.
liability, you can say, but as of now, it's not realized as a liability.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all. We'll see when you create invoice with this, we can understand how it will turn into liability and what
Okay.
goes. Fine. The account type should be liability only. The nature should be, otherwise system won't allow us to create the purchase order with this account.
Okay.
Alt IMC. Add rule. Select constant. The reality when you do the implementation, here we select account as uninvoiced liability. That's how we take account. Uninvoiced. Okay. Uninvoiced liability. That's how we take here for our testing purpose. Any one of the account you can take. But account nature should be liability. I'm taking the same account. But this should be different account we maintain here. We don't have separate account, so the same account we are taking. So we create separate account called as so uninvoiced or unbilled liability. So that account we use here means when you are using the PO, it's PO. It's not invoiced. That's how it is. Say save and create another, and we have one more account that is variance account. Again, here variance means IP, invoice price variance. The variance, the price variance between PO price and invoice price. The PO price may be different from invoice price when you get invoice from your supplier. That variance system will capture into this invoice price variance account. Save and close. So we created rules. Here, very important point is we have to create within the purchasing. So when you search for account rules, you have to select the task which is pointing to procurement related path. Done. So we created rules. Now we have to create transaction account definition. The name is TAD, but we call as TAB tab. So here is the task. Manage transaction account definitions. Click on go to task icon and click on create. So provide the name Alt INC PO tab. And select our chart of accounts. So we have total 5 account types, but 3 are mandatory. Accrual account, charge account, variance account. These 2 are not mandatory. So provide the rule whatever we created to this account type. We are mapping. Accrual account, we have a rule. Accrual account rule. Charge account, we have separate rule. Alt INC, charge account. Variance, we have another rule. Assign. But these 2 also assign the same rules. Charge account and variance account. So variance charge rule you can assign here also. Now click on activate. Say okay. Done. Now we have to assign this PO tab to our ledger. Within the ledger, we have SLA, sub-ledger accounting method. Within the SLA, we have all the applications. Now for purchasing application, we have to assign this PO tab. Use this task. Manage sub-ledger accounting options. Go to this task. Manage sub-ledger accounting options. Okay. Here you can use any path. It will take us to page there. We have to select the ledger. It could be procurement and or finance. Doesn't make any difference. Click on go to task icon. Find our primary ledger here. Search. So within our primary ledger, we have all these applications as a part of SLA, sub-ledger accounting method. And just locate purchasing application. So here we have to find purchasing application. Here is the purchase. So for purchasing application, here we could see accounting options. Click on edit icon. Okay, for purchasing application, click on accounting options, edit. Now here is the transaction accounting definition feed. Oracle is providing the dummy purchasing tab. It's a default. It doesn't support to create any accounting because it's a dummy one. We have to select what we need. So we created our own that you select here. Alt INC PO tab. Now click on save and close. So within this, by using this ledger, within the purchasing, if you are going to create the requisition or purchase order, whatever the information is available in this PO tab, it will derive those accounts and it will create a accounting however it is required. Just save and close. Click on done. So that's all about creating the PO tab. Now quickly
Uh,
we'll create, yeah.
So this accounting rule might vary for organization or
One
business
point
unit.
here, it is a big game, but we are making it very simple since it's not our area. What
Okay.
reality SCM people will do is the client requirement would be these accounts, these charge accounts and our accrual accounts, whatever, ideally charge accounts need to be derived based on the inventory organizations or purchasing categories, etc., etc. Different criterias they use. Okay, but here
Okay.
we set straightforward
Okay.
constant we given, right? Otherwise, we have to create the mapping sets. Hope you remember as a part of AP, we have seen how to create the mapping set, right? As a part of SLA.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, in similar way, for this PO tab also, SCM consultant will create definitely mapping sets.
Okay. And where can we see that, Lakshman? Like just to get an idea about what was the mapping set created for that.
Task is mapping set only.
Okay.
See, mapping set, procurement. This is the task.
Okay.
Yeah. So how they map? So which account for which category? Yeah.
Okay.
For
Thank you.
computers, you may use one charge account, right? For machinery, you may use
Mm.
another charge account. What items we are procuring for the different charge accounts we use.
Okay. So we can understand like item level, they are specifying the mapping sets.
Item level, not category level.
Purchase category level.
Ah, exactly. It could be
Okay.
purchasing category or inventory category. So the
Okay.
category level, most of the implementations they do like that.
Okay.
So sometimes they directly map with the inventory level. If inventory organization, okay, is so and so, this account it has to derive. That's all.
Okay.
Yep. Fine. So we are ready with this PO tab. Okay, whenever you create purchase requisition or purchase order, system can derive the accounts from this setup. Now we'll see very high level how to set up purchase requisition or purchase order related approvals. Here we are going to set auto approvals. So within the project, search with the term called as approvals. Here is the task. Manage requisition approvals. Click on manage requisition approvals. Click on go to task icon. Now these all are okay different nodes or you can call as different stages. Okay. We'll use one of the stage. So we have seen how to set up the how just approvals can be built and we already tested. For finance side, we have to go to BPM and we can set in case of in purchasing, we no need to go to BPM. They build separate framework. This page they built from this page itself, you can do the setup. So this stage is enabled. I want to disable it. Select the stage, disable. Now I'm going to enable this stage. I want to set approval with this. So I want to use this. Selecting, enable this stage. Click on edit rule. Click on create. I'll say auto. I want to set automatic approvals. Say okay. Just I given the name and add condition. Here, what is the condition? If business unit is equal to alt INC business unit, whenever you create the requisition, system should approve that requisition automatically. We'll set in that way. Say so requisitioning business unit. Select it. Requisitioning business unit means within the business unit, if the BU is equal to Okay, within the requisition creation, BU is equal to which BU? You provide the BU value here. One second. Select first one, not second one. Requisitioning BU requisition header. Okay, this is the parameter attribute you have to select. If requisition BU is equal to equal value is, select our business unit. This BU. Say okay. Okay, just we are writing kind of if condition. If requisition BU is equal to alt INC US business unit, then what is the action? Add action. Action is automatic. What should happen automatically? Approval. It should be approved. Automatically, it should be approved. So that's all. If requisition within the requisition, if BU name is alt INC US business unit, system should approve that requisition automatically. So say one close, and we have to deploy. In the purchasing related approvals also we have seen, we have to save and we have to commit. Commit is nothing but deployment over there. Here directly they given the tab as deploy. Click on deploy. If you create any requisition with our business unit, system will approve that requisition automatically. Click on that. And now we have to set for purchase order also. Here is the task. Manage purchasing document approvals. Manage purchasing document approvals. Click on go to task icon. And here also you can see one of the stage is enabled. I'm going to disable it. I'll select stage as this. And click on enable first. The stage is enabled. Within this stage, let's create the rule. Click on edit rules. And here click on plus icon. For purchase order also we want to approve automatic. Auto. Okay. Add condition. What is the condition? When you create the purchase order, the BU we call as a procurement BU. When you create the requisition, the BU we call as a requisitioning BU. So select attribute as procurement BU. Select our BU name. If procurement BU is equal to alt ILC US business unit, means within the purchase order document BU name is identified as alt ILC US business unit, what system should do? Add that action. What system should do? System should automate as a approve or reject. Approve. It should approve that purchasing document automatically if BU is matching to alt ILC US business unit. Save okay. Now save and close, and we have to deploy it. Just click on deploy. The rule what we created, it will be updated. It will get synchronized with the approval rule. It will be enforced in the process. So that's how just simply we can create the rules. Okay, since it's a purchasing part, we are not going more detailed. So just we have to complete the approvals. Now create sub-inventory. Whenever you create the receipt within the inventory, without sub-inventory, we cannot create the receipts. As per client business, client may not have sub-inventories, but at least we have to create the dummy sub-inventory for every inventory automation. Without sub-inventory concept, you cannot create the receipt within the inventory. Receipt is mandatory. Sub-inventory is mandatory when you create the receipt. Yep. So this is the point we have to understand. Let's see how to create the sub-inventory. Sub-inventory always we create within the inventory. Okay, we have a dollars inventory. Within the dollars inventory, we are going to create the sub-inventory. Just click on manage sub-inventories under locators task. So within the sub-inventory, further partition is locators, but we are not going to deal with that. That is a separate concept. So click on go to task icon. Now we are in Alt INC dollars inventory. Within the dollars inventory, we are going to create sub-inventory. Click on create. The sub-inventory name is a computer sub-inventory. Okay. So what purpose we are going to use the sub-inventory to store material, or else sometimes we may create sub-inventory which will act as a staging. In that case, you can give as a receiving. This is for storing. That's all. Just provide the name, save and close. Our sub-inventory is ready within our inventory organization. Within the dollars, how many sub-inventories we have? Only one. Click on done. Now create item class. If you want to create item within the inventory, we have to create the item class. Without item class, we cannot create the items. The item class level will set the security and will set the number generation rules. We'll see. Okay, once we create item class, we can understand the purpose of it. But if you are from EBS background, no item class is required. It's straightforward. You can create the items. But here, with the product management application, okay, they came up with item class and all six, setting the security, etc. So it's mandatory how to create the item class. Let's see how to create the item class so that we can understand what is the purpose they give it. Item class. So manage item classes. Manage item classes. Click on go to task icon. So here you can see one of the item class name as root item class. Okay, one of the item class name is root item class. So that is a seeded item class Oracle is providing. Okay, that is a seeded item class Oracle is providing. So when we do the implementation, and most of the implementation, the same root item class only the SCM consultant will use. SCM consultant will use, or else we can create our own item class also. Let's see how to create our own item class. Select root item class and click on create. You can give the name as Alt INC item class. Provide the description. Click on save and do add details. Now go to tab called as item management, and we use this item class to create the items. By using this item class, when you create item, what number system has to generate, that we have to set here. Number generation, item number generation method. I'm setting here sequence generated. It has to follow the sequence. Say the starting number should be 1001. Any prefix is required. Yes, we need as a prefix as a for item number Alt INC. And increment by, it has to increment by 1, means 1000, 1000, 2003. And when you create item by using this item class, system will generate this number. It will trigger this number for those items if those items we are going to create with this item class. And whatever the name for the item, nothing but description, that you can set the rule here. Item description rule. Say user defined. Will allow the user to enter the item name. Number system will generate, name will be entered by user only. Now go to security. By using this, okay, by using this item class, who can create the items? And again, in which item master items can be created? Those items can be assigned to which child inventory organization. All the permissions we have to set here. Under security, click on add. So when you see this field, group means, okay, so group means it will allow, sorry, group means you can select specific role. The people who got access to so and so role, they'll be able to create the item, they can assign the item to so and so inventory organization. If not role, you can select the person. Group means role, person means specific user. I'm selecting our user. Alt IMC. Select inventory organization. Alt IMC item master organization. So what we are trying to do here, by using this item master, okay, this user can use this item master to create the items within this item master inventory. Whether this user can create and user can do something that you can set below the permissions. Here, actions. Click on add. Sorry. So click on search. So what kind of privileges you want to give to this user related to item? So you can select all. Click on apply. Click on done. What we are doing is, so this user can perform all these activities related to items within this inventory organization when this user is going to create the item by using this item organization. Okay, only this user can use this item class to create the items within this item master inventory. Other users cannot use this item class. We are giving permission to this user only. The same way, you have to add child inventory also. Select person, Alt INC. Select dollars inventory also, because we have to assign the items to this dollars. Here also set the permissions. Search. Say okay. And save and close. That's all. Ideally, we have to set number generation under item management under security tab. So who can use this item class? And again, to create item in which item master organization, those items can be assigned to which child and what are the permissions we want to give, that we can set at item class level. Say save and close. Okay, so that's all about item class creation. Now we'll see how to create the item and how that item can be assigned to our inventory, child inventory. Sorry. So we are going to create item. Go to navigator. So within this navigator, look for product management. Okay, there will be product management section. Under product management, you can find the task called as product information management. How we are getting all these in this navigator? Because of application implementation consultant role. If you assign inventory related roles also you can get, but as of now we are getting because of application implementation consultant role. If you want to assign inventory role, which roles we have to assign, we'll see that. So product information management, this in short we call as a PIM, P-I-M, PIM. By using the module called as PIM, we create the items. Those items we use in the inventory application to record the transactions. Go to PIM.
Lakshman, isn't it should be an offering rather than getting it with application
Yes, offering
implementation?
only. We assigned product management offering, right? That is to perform the setups, not to access in the navigator. Yeah. So see, it's a big story. It's a product management. We have a different sub offerings. So one of the sub offering is product information management.
Okay.
Product lifecycle management and some design, etc., etc. Many sub applications we have, sub offerings we have within the product management.
So in our case, then we should be having the access to that offering as well as the application implementation consultant. And when both will be in place, then we can access this page, right?
For this, to create item, you don't need access. Just label name will be displayed. We are not doing much here. Only item we are creating. Application implementation consultant role will help us. Otherwise, you assign event related roles. Those also will allow you to create item, and it will allow you to access this page.
Okay.
Just application implementation consultant role is enough.
Okay.
We didn't assign any inventory roles so far, but still we are able to access only because of application implementation consultant.
Okay. Thank you.
Fine. Now click on task panel, and here is the task, create item. So select our item master inventory organization. And select our item class. Because the current Alt INC user provisioned access to only our item class. Alt INC item class. And when you create an item, you have to set many attributes for the item. Okay, the item can be purchased, item can be stored in the inventory, item can be sold to the customer, and item can be used in the manufacturing process. Many attributes, many checkboxes, many fields data we have to provide. So instead of setting all these around 300 attributes we have, instead of setting, what inventory consultants will do is they use the templates. In fact, Oracle also providing the few templates. On top of it, they can create many templates as per business requirement. So we will use one template that will fill the data as we require. So use the template called as, let's use purchased item template. When you say purchased item, the item can be purchased, the item can be stored, the item can be sold to the customer. The item would be available in the purchasing application, the item would be available in the inventory application, the item can be available in the order management application also. That's how the attributes are available here in this. Select purchased item template and say OK. So with this data, it will create item. Now system is generating item number based on the item class what we used. This is item class 11. We given starting number as a 1001. Prefix should be Alt INC, same. The number will be displayed later. As of now, it is showing as masking. At this item class level, we given user description is manual. So here we have to enter user description. So MacBook. So item status is set as active. Life cycle is not applicable, set as active. Now scroll little down. Oh, item is MacBook. How you will be measuring that item? Select measurement. Since it's a MacBook, you may measure as each. You count as 1, 2, 3 only, not dozens, etc. So select unit of measurement, how you measure this item. Okay. So each. Now go to specification just to review the data. We no need to do anything. So we use the template called as purchased item. Because of that, if you go to inventory tab, you see all these attributes system is taking from the template. If you go to sales and order management, these all tabs, customer ordered, etc., etc. If you go to purchasing, it's taking all the purchasing related attributes. This all system is copying from the template only. Inventory people always they'll maintain the templates as they require. And now here we don't need to do anything. So go to associations. The item. This item where we are creating within the item master. Item master only you can create item. You can see here. But the same item, this item related stock you want to maintain within which inventories, to those inventories we have to assign this item. So reality this item we required in the Dallas inventory. Dallas inventory only we maintain the stock. Now click on add, search for Alt INC, select dollars. So the template is available at dollars item in inventory level also. So whatever we selected, same you select again for this inventory level. So purchased item, Alt INC item, select here. Okay, already we selected template at the time of item creation. When we are assigning the same item to dollars inventory, again we are selecting and say apply. Done. If this item is required in the 100 inventories, same process. We have to assign to 100 inventories by following the same process. Now just
Lakshman, how this got assigned to our purchased item, this Alt INC Dallas?
sorry.
So when you selected, it was showing up, right, in the list of values that Alt INC Dallas inventory was associated with purchased item template inside.
Correct.
So how it was showing up? Like what is
Automatically here, because here already this item is belongs to this purchased item. This template only it is copying for that automatically.
Oh, okay.
Now say save and close. Okay. So item is ready. And the item also we assign to our inventory. Now just we'll assign the roles and we'll run the synchronization. So we done up to here. We'll assign the roles. Here we have a roles. These are the inventory roles. These are the purchasing or say procurement roles. First we'll assign the roles. To these roles, we have to assign the inventory organization. To these roles, we have to assign our business unit. So go to application. Tools. Security console. Users. Inventory manager. So warehouse manager. Always prefer to choose which is starting with ORA, any role. ORA prefix role is not available, you choose whatever available. Warehouse operator. Next role is procurement manager. Procurement preparer. Procurement requester. And advanced procurement requester. Done. To all the roles, assign relevant data access. For inventory roles, inventory organization, procurement roles, business unit. So go to task called as data access for users. First, we'll complete for inventory, inventory manager, inventory organization. You cannot access our item master organization here, only dollars. Because with item master, we cannot record the transaction, only for item maintenance. Warehouse manager. And warehouse operator. Now we have procurement roles, advanced procurement requester, select RBU, procurement manager, business unit, procurement preparer, procurement requester. Save and close. Done. And select initial users. Run this program. Well done. Submit it. So once it is synchronized, just we have to set requisition preferences. So requisition preferences means if you are going to create the requisition, so what should be the destination for requisition, whether you are going to create the requisition for expenses or inventory, the default, as well as what would be the location. Yeah. So just let's wait for a minute. Once the synchronization is done, we'll be able to perform that. Check roles are synchronized or not. Expand procurement. Yes. Under procurement. So now system is adding that purchase requisition, purchase order because of the additional roles, whatever we assign related to procurement. Now click on purchase requisitions task. Hope it got synchronized. Yeah. Synchronized. Now what we have to do is we have to set requisition preferences. Set requisition preferences. How to set? Go to manage more tasks. Here we have one of the tasks called as update requisition preferences. Select it. Here, deliver to location we have to set. Alt INC dollars. Destination type. When you create the requisition, do we create most of the requisition for expense purpose or inventory item purpose? That you have to set. You may select default sub inventory. Done. Then say save and close. So now we are all set. We'll be able to perform the transaction creation. Okay, all setups are completed. Okay, maybe it's a 7:14. Tomorrow session, it takes time. Like we have to go one by one step and we have to test only PO matching, PO and receipt matching, and invoice creation based on the only receipt. And we'll just we have to discuss and we have to go one by one and we have to understand about matchings also. So it takes some time. Better we'll see in the tomorrow session. We are ready with all the basic setups which are required for P2P to run the P2P. Already our AP is ready, and today we completed the basic setups required from inventory and purchasing. So in tomorrow session we'll see the cycle. Okay, requisition creation, PO creation, receipt creation, invoice creation, automatic invoice creation, AP based on the receipt. We'll test all the cycles. Yeah, done.